Well, the ag sector and the administration are actively seeking to enhance access in existing foreign markets, as well as gain new access in new markets. And this week, the White House indicated there is wiggle room to re-entering the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Joining us now for this week's AFBF Market Intel Report is Market Intelligence Director John Newton. John, as always, thanks for joining us once again. Now, following the multiple years of large harvest in the U.S. and, of course, the farm income at really low levels, what can be done to help the nation's farmers and ranchers?
Well, quite frankly, it's just time to make agriculture great again. We're involved in a number of efforts when you talk about the Farm Bill and things that we're doing here in Washington, D.C. But I think the industry as a whole is really looking to the foreign markets, getting an enhanced NAFTA trade agreement, thinking about re-entering TPP. Those are the efforts that can really help farmers as we move forward and lift prices as we access those new markets.
Well, again, gains have already been made in efforts like agricultural trade, as they've discussed. What about some of the recent efforts that we've heard from USDA, from the White House? What are your thoughts on those?
Well, we've seen the administration do a number of things to really help trade in recent months. We saw China is now going to allow beef meeting certain production specifications to enter their market. We also saw some WTO implications on poultry that should improve its access to the Chinese market. And then again, we just saw negotiators wrap up that sixth round of NAFTA negotiations, and hopefully they can make some significant headway in getting more access, for example, in the Canadian dairy market.
And John, where do you see the biggest challenges as we try to improve our market access around the globe?
Well, that's certainly a very big concern of agriculture, because there are a number of challenges. Quite frankly, you think about a NAFTA modernization and when the rhetoric around a withdrawal. That would certainly, if we were indeed to withdraw from NAFTA, make it a lot tougher in the top markets that we do business in. We saw the administration levy new tariffs on steel and solar panels and washing machines. We do business in South Korea and in China, some of our top export markets for agriculture. And then we also saw the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Those 11 countries agreed to a deal beginning in March. And then finally, we've seen the European Union make some really aggressive moves to enhance their trading position in some of our top markets, including Canada, Mexico, and Japan. So there are a lot of opportunities available, but there are also challenges in front of us as well.
And John, what about each dollar of ag exports stimulating another $1.28 in business activity? Speak to that and what kind of feedback we're getting on this. It sounds like, of course, a winning situation.
Well, I think everybody understands how important trade is to the farm economy. USDA estimated that the ag exports contribute about $380 billion to that U.S. economy and represents over 1 million jobs in the ag sector. So looking at that information, knowing how important trade is for agriculture, we really believe it's time to make agriculture great again by getting some new access and enhancing access to the markets around the world.
Well, John, as always, thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate your input. AFBF Market Intelligence Director John Newton joining us from the American Farm Bureau headquarters in Washington, D.C.